Hello, my movie fans. My movie fans, right? We all know why we're here. So let's just jump right into what I'm talking about today. The 80s and 90s crazy B horror movies, right? That's what we're all talking about here, right? I love B horror movies. I'm sure that I have said that to you guys before. B horror movies are so fun, and as long as they have the right elements in them, it's a good movie still. Even though it's a B horror movie, they're still entertaining. And Dr. Giggles was one of the movies that is totally a B horror movie. However, it is very entertaining. I have seen this movie so many times. It's kind of silly the way the doctor is. It's so over the top and it's well acted in my opinion. I mean, you can get some B horror movies that are horribly acted, horribly directed, and it's a B movie simply because it didn't have the right cast, it didn't have the right directors, and that's why it's a B horror movie. But I feel like this one is only a B horror movie because it's so silly in its premise. Let's get into the premise, right? We start off in an insane asylum, and what we see is I don't remember what they're called, where the doctors are down low, and it's kind of like a stadium where everybody can view what the doctor is doing. And this doctor is performing what looks to be an open heart surgery on someone, but this someone isn't dressed as a patient, they are wearing a suit. So what we find out is one of the mental patients escaped, which was Dr. Giggles, and the people in the auditorium thing that are all looking down and watching are the escaped mental patients. So that's how the movie starts. And the first funny thing that happens is whoever this person was in the suit, I assume it was one of the actual doctors from the clinic, he takes his two arms and he's putting them over top of a nurse, kind of like this. And it's the doctor's hands, and he's going down to her chest, and she goes, "Ooh, doctor, not here," something along those lines. And Dr. Giggles says he should learn to keep his hands to himself as he goes on the rampage to get out of this mental institution, right? So he is on his way to Moorhigh, which is a town he came from. Apparently, his father was the town doctor, the town heart doctor, I believe. And this kid grew up idolizing his dad, cutting up his stuffed animals and sewing them back up to try and be a doctor like his daddy, right? He just idolized his father. Well, there's a town legend where his father had kind of cut up all his patients and he did all these bad things. It comes out that his dad was trying to find a heart for his mom because his mom had a bad heart and the dad was trying to save her, but he was going about it in the wrong way and he was a bit of a Looney Tunes. So Dr. Giggles, of course, goes back to this town to seek vengeance on the town that killed him because the town people at that time had gone through and gotten rid of the doctor. But what makes this guy very funny, as the name suggests, he is giggly. And this guy, the actor, has the best giggles. He just goes, I love it so much. He just does these funny giggles every now and then, and he's perfect for it. Because although he's doing this goofy thing where he's giggling, he does it so well. He plays a mental patient that's pretending to be a doctor well. And he's got this medicine bag full of these normal medical equipment, but his are all oversized. He's got an endoscope and a nose scope that is super long. So one of the patients, he sticks it all the way up her nose, and he's got medication, but the needles are like this long. Everything is just oversized for a killer doctor, right? And that's part of the joy of this movie is all the kill scenes are very interesting. It's not like a normal slasher movie, and it's actually not that gory. It's just they do it really well so that it's not too gory. I'm not a big fan of super gory movies. I think it's gross. Even though I know obviously it's all fake, it just turns my stomach a little bit. Some of the newer Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies are a little bit too gory for me. So this one they show enough of it, like the endoscope going up her nose where it's glowing right here. They show enough of it that it looks really cool and it's a cool death scene, that it doesn't give too much away, but you know exactly what's happening, right? He's got an oversized thermometer. Of course, you can imagine what he does with that. And he's got these oversized band-aids that are people size, and he's got it over her mouth so she suffocates on the band-aid. And he's got all these little doctor sayings like, this will hurt me more than it'll hurt you, or you think that hurts, wait until you get my bill. Very, very goofy doctor sayings that he uses at the funniest parts. He's using puns in the whole movie, and I absolutely love them. He's got one for the band-aid that's, don't worry, it's ouchless, and another one for this long tube that he puts into a woman's mouth to suck out her stomach. You know, she had eaten too much ice cream, so he didn't want her to have all that sugar in her body, so he was going to pump her stomach. Of course, there's a little blade that comes out and spins, and he shows that to her before he puts it in her mouth. And at first, it's just sucking out the ice cream, and he goes, I know, it sucks. Just the silliest little things that he says with his giggles. I know, it sucks. I think you guys will really like this movie. And I know that you're hopefully enjoying the movie chats, because let's be real, we all know what it's about, right? I don't need to kind of make it any more obvious what these movie chats are about. Not only do I like talking about movies, but I like entertaining those fans, right? You got the idea, don't you? Back to the movie. The main character, besides Dr. Giggles, of course, is kind of a group of friends, these teenagers, and in those 90 movies, all the teenagers are horny, right? They're all just totally hormonal and into each other, and a bunch of funny stuff happens with that, as with every 90s horror movie. It's always the teens, it's always the ones that are just way too hyper, you know what I mean. It's all of them that are getting it from the doctor. And there's one girl in particular, I believe her name is Jen in the movie. Well, she's got a heart condition. So Dr. Giggles feels a soft spot in his heart for her, and he has taken all of these town kids, all of her friends basically, and taken out their hearts, and he's got them all in a big bucket, very sanitary. And he's trying to find the right heart for her when he finally gets her, and that's kind of the premise of the movie, is that he falls a little bit attached to this one particular character because she reminds him of his mom, who died of a heart disease. Anyways, that's not really what makes the movie fun. What makes the movie fun is all the oversized doctor equipment, all the funny little puns that he says, and of course, the giggles. Dr. Giggles. You guys need to see this movie. It's so funny. And it's entertaining pretty much right from the beginning. It's very entertaining. You're not going to be bored in this one. It's not one of those movies where it's like, oh gosh, the acting in this scene is so bad, I just can't even deal with it, right? There's so many of those movies, and this one isn't one of it, at least in my opinion. And hopefully this movie chat was entertaining in the right way, right? I love to bring you guys a movie chats, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Give it a thumbs up to let me know that you liked it. Not so much about what I'm saying, right? But you just enjoyed it. Enjoyed yourself. Enjoyed the view. And I'll see you next week. Bye.